You're listening to Hearing the Silence of a Convicted Mind. I'm Chameleon Looter. I don't chase noise, I study silence. Let's listen carefully. The case was closed. The sentence was final, but the language didn't stop. When a convicted mind speaks, most people listen for regret. I listen for rehearsal. They don't always confess. They redistribute responsibility. They shift ownership. Quietly, grammatically, intentionally. Listen carefully. Now the facts. This is a composite of several post-conviction calls, anonymized and combined to protect identities. The speaker is a mid-level network actor, convicted on conspiracy and fraud charges, sentenced, transferred, and limited in movement, but not in communication. I reviewed these calls to map linguistic strategy to see what patterns remained when physical options were removed. What felt anomalous was not anger or denial or admission. It was grammar, simple shifts in pronouns and verb forms that changed who was responsible and how responsibility looked on the line. Let's start with the language shift. He didn't use I the way most people use I. He moved between I, we, and impersonal constructions. Listen hypothetically to three constructions. I did this, we handled that, and it happened. Each choice redirects agency. We create shared ownership, diffuse responsibility, recruited allies, implied loyalty. Passive phrasing, it was done, or it happened, removes an actor entirely. Those are not slips, they are strategic. Pronoun swapping is a rehearsal of plausible deniability in its scales, singular evasion, collective shielding. That grammar preserves connections and creates ambiguity, where a clear admission would close doors. Now the silence in between. Pay attention to the pauses, not as empty moments, but as punctuation that reshapes meaning. He pauses before names, before verbs that assign action, and often releases a breath right at the edge of ownership. Those gaps are telling. A long breath, a measured, and then a shift to we or a move to passive voice. Silence has patterns. When admission is costly, omission does the work. Omitted subjects, clipped clauses, and flat affect make accountability harder to pin down. The silence becomes a grammar of its own. Third, manipulation through small linguistic moves. These are not overt commands, they're tests. A soft request framed as, "Can we look into this?" instead of, "I need you to do this," gauges compliance and diffuses obligation. Collective phrasing creates moral pressure. We don't leave people hanging. Who is we? Suddenly, the listener is implicated. Agentless verbs allow covert coordination. It'll be handled. No actor named, but expectations set. Inside incarceration, such phrasing runs networks. They send obligations, measure loyalty, and preserve deniability, all in a single sentence. Zooming out, conviction ends legal mobility. It does not end cognition. Language becomes a durable instrument of influence when movement is constrained. Pronoun strategy is efficient. It preserves relationships without explicit instruction. Passive constructions create plausible absence of agency. Collective identity sustains obligations. Over time, these patterns become systematized. Rehearsed phrases, calibrated pauses, predictable shifts that signal a playbook. That's the escalation insight. Tactical grammar is how strategy adapts to constraint. It's not dramatic, it's methodical. Now the chilling realization, maybe he wasn't reacting, maybe he had already planned for this phase. The shifts are too consistent to be accidental. The same pronoun swap at the same conversational juncture. Rehearse patterns. Short sentences now. He anticipates scrutiny. He designs ambiguity. He rehearses the silence around responsibility. The language is insurance. The pauses are signatures. The pattern never disappears. Conviction closes cases. It doesn't always close patterns. Silence has patterns. If you listen with grammar in mind, pronoun shifts, agentless verbs, constructed we, you'll find persistence where others hear only quiet. Is the truth in what is said or in what is avoided? Subscribe if you want more dissections like this. Practical listening tools for professionals and curious minds. The pattern is what remains. Pay attention to what wasn't said. Incarceration restricts movement. It does not restrict cognition. Some minds adapt. That's what I heard. Listen carefully.
They call it manipulation. Sometimes it's adaptation to constant observation. Because when you know someone's always listening, you learn how to speak without saying everything.